Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another book haul. So let's get started because I have quite a bit of books. So the first one is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, and this has to do with infertility. It is an adult contemporary. Now this is on my reading list. I think I'm going to be starting that next on my TBR, I guess. And this one I got on Amazon. This one I got on Book Outlet. It's called One Small Thing by Erin Watt. Now, I started this last night, and I'm already at page 68. So it's a quick read. I'll probably have this done in the next couple of days. I take the dust jacket off when I'm reading a book, so but I thought I'd show you. Just got that, and I'm already reading it. And this is Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith. It's a young adult contemporary. And this is has to do with winning the lottery. Sorry, this one is also a young adult contemporary, and it is about a girl and dealing with the loss of her sister. Super good, addictive. Like I read the Royals series from them before. Erin Watt is a duo, and absolutely loved it. I read that series. There's like 5 books in the series. It says 4 here, but there was one more that was published. And I read them back to back to back. Like I just absolutely loved it. And I'm loving this book too. So I see here that they have one more book out. So I'll be on the lookout for that for sure. Because I wanna read all their books because I love them. So the next one I'll be looking for is When It's Real. So this is about a girl winning the lottery. Anthem of a Reluctant Prophet. Also got that at Book Outlet. And to tell you the truth, I know it's a young adult. I saw a few people talk about this. But apart from that, I don't know too much about it. Oh, $5 off. Yay. So I can't wait to read that. I think it's also a TV show maybe, or a movie. I'm not sure. Now the next one is Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. And I read Saint and Misfits from her and enjoyed it. Now this has to do with 2 Muslim kids, and one was just diagnosed with having MS. So I heard that it's really touching and everything, so I can't wait to read that. This is Peace and Turmoil, The Dark Shores, Book 1 by Elliot Brooks. She's a booktuber and also is writing a series, and I wanted to support her. So I bought the book. I bought this on Amazon, and the second book is coming out soon, I think. But I love that. Look, it matches my fingernails. I love it. I love how it's beautiful, how the book is beautiful. And it's huge. I didn't even check how many pages it is. Over 700 pages. And I know it's an adult, or no, it's a fantasy. I don't know if it's adult or young adult, but I think it has to do with dragons too. So can't wait to read that. This is Always Never Yours by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. They're a husband and wife writing duo. And this is, I think it's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. It's a young adult contemporary. They also have this one, If I'm Being Honest, that was just published, but I'm waiting for it to be on paperback, and I'll get it on paperback. And I got this one for super cheap. I think it was like $8 or $9 on Amazon. What I do is I put all the books that I want on Amazon, my Amazon wish list, and then I keep checking every day and wait for it to go on sale. This I also got on Amazon. It's Serious Moonlight. Again, it became on sale by Jen Bennett. I read Alex Approximately by her. Really loved it. I have Starry Eyes. I got to read it soon. This is a young adult contemporary. Didn't need to know too much about it. I just loved her first book, so decided to get that one because it was on sale. Now the next one I got was from Book Outlet, and it is book 4 or 5 book 5 in the Keeper of the Lost City series. Reagan from Peru's project has been reading these books, have been loving them, and so I've been collecting them slowly on Book Outlet. And then once I have most of the series, then I'll start reading it. It is a young adult, or no, a middle grade, and it has to do with elves, and it's a whole bunch of adventure. Now this is Just Fly Away by Andrew McCarthy. And this I was watching, I think he was live with Kelly and Ryan, and he was on the show talking about this book. And I went to check it out, and it was on sale. It was super cheap, so I got it. I can't remember what it's about, but it sounded good when they were talking about it on the show. You can watch little clips of their show on YouTube, so I've been addicted to those lately and been watching those. This is The Last Time We Say Goodbye by Cynthia Han. This is a book that Books and Lala talked about. And then when I was placing a Book Outlet order, they had it on there. She said that she loved it. And there's quite a few books that she said that she loved that I love too. So where it was so cheap, I got it too. This is Defy the Worlds by Claudia Gray. This is the second book in the Defy the Stars. I think it's a trilogy, and it was on Book Outlet, so I decided to get it because I had the first book. This is an adult, is it a historical fiction? Or is it just adult fiction? But it's another one of Reese Witherspoon's book club. I've been reading quite a bit of the books that is part of her book club. I joined her group on Goodreads, and this is The Last Mrs. Parrish. Oh, it's a thriller. It says right there. It's a thriller. So, yeah, I'm trying to read all the books that they talked about. And this, I got it also on Book Outlet, so I got it for super cheap. This is another one that I believe, was it Books and Lala that talked about this? I know a few people talked about this on BookTube. Fields Note on Love by Jennifer E. Smith. It's a young adult contemporary. Got it on Book Outlet, super cheap. So I got it. Oh, look at that. I love that. Cute. The next one is Fierce Like a Firestorm, and that's the sequel to Wicked Like a Wildfire. And I do have the first book. This was on Book Outlet, so I decided to get it where I could get it for super cheap. And this is A Magical Realism, and that's by Lana Popovic. Now, this is a book by Courtney Stevens. I read her first book and really enjoyed it. And so this came on Book Outlet. So for super cheap, 4321. And I think, does that have to do with an attack of some kind? Yeah, I think it is. And so anyway, like I said, I really enjoyed her first book. I saw Books and Lala talk about this, and I don't know if she's ever read it. I just know that she talked about how she was excited that Courtney Stevens was coming out with a new book. Whether she read it or not, I can't remember. And the next one is Sally Green, The Smokes and Thieves, or The Smoke Thieves. And this is a young adult fantasy. It was on Book Outlet. I saw a few people mention that it was coming out. Now, how they felt about it, I don't know, but where it was on Book Outlet, I decided to get it. There was quite a few things that I got from Book Outlet. Most of the books I got were from Book Outlet. So super cheap deals. This is by Jody Meadows, As She Ascends, and this is the second book. And I don't know, yes, the Fallen Isle trilogy. So I got the first one, and where this, Before She Ignites, and where this was on Book Outlet for super cheap, young adult fantasy, I got it. Now this next one, I was super excited because it's The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. This was published, I think it was V. Schwab's first adult book. and it was out of print, and they brought it back into print, and this went on Book Outlet. So man, did I jump on that. And it has, ooh, and I know it has to do with witches, but I'm becoming a big fan of V. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab, so I want to own everything that she has. This is Little Do We Know by Tamara Ireland Stone, and this is also from Book Outlet, and this has to do with friends that had a falling out, and how they find, their way to each other, back to each other's friendships. They're next door neighbors. I love the book cover. Love that. And Book Outlet. So I didn't get it at Target. I got it at Book Outlet. We don't have Targets here anymore in Canada. They closed shops. And this is Slayer by Kirsten White. Again, Book Outlet. It's a Buffy the Oh, it's signed. I didn't know that. A Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not a retelling, but it's almost like afterwards. A lot of people didn't like it, but where it was on Book Outlet and I got it for super cheap, I thought I would try it. This is Frostblood by Ellie Blake. She's a Canadian author. I know that, who talked about this? Someone on BookTube talked about this, that they read it. It was Haley from Haley in Bookland. And it's a young adult fantasy, I think. And she really liked it. So I bought the first one to see if I would like it. Then I got The Black Coats by Colleen Oakes. And I'm not too sure what this is about. But it was on Book Outlet. Super cheap, so I got it. And I saw some people talk about it, so and it sounded interesting. I just can't remember what it was about. Now this is the sequel to The Glass Bear. It's called The Cursed Sea by Lauren DeStefano, and I did have the first one. So where it went on Book Outlet, I decided to get it so that I would have the second book when I start reading the series. Now this one is Adrift by Tammy Oldham Ashcraft with Suzia McCarhart. This is based on a true story of being lost at sea. Tammy is actually the lady that was lost at sea. I've actually read this already, and now I'm watching the Netflix version of it, which I can tell you I haven't watched all of it, but it's so different than from the book. Like, they didn't follow the book at all. So this is Beautiful Boss by Christina Lauren. I didn't realize this was like, it's only a novella, and it's like, so I have to read the other books before I can read this, but it was like $2, so I got it, so I'll have it. This I bought on Amazon. It's Deviate. It's book 2 in the Lifelike series by Jay Kristoff. I absolutely love his books, so I'll be getting whatever he writes. So I waited till it went on sale, and then I bought it. Now, this book, I don't do this very often, but this book I've already read, and I bought it after I read it. So I read it on my Kindle, and this is Vicious by V. Schwab, by the way. And it went on Book Outlet, and I had Vengeful in the book form. So I decided to get the book, even though I already read it, because I'll probably reread it someday, because I really, really liked it. But that's, another book that, it's already read. I've read this one already, and I'm in the middle of reading this one. So I think I'm doing pretty good as far as trying to read the stuff as I'm getting them in. I mean, there's still quite a bit left, but I'll get to them. This is Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. This, Reagan from Peru's Project, talks about this series and loves it. So I know it's a fantasy, an adult fantasy, and that's all I know. The next one is Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. I think Books and Lala talked about this maybe. And I know it's a young adult contemporary. It's probably sooner than later that I'm going to be reading this. Probably in August. And then This is Emery Lord, The Start of Me and You. And everybody's been talking about this book because there's recently been book 2 published with this. So I am going to be reading this again sooner than later. And this deals also with death. Yes, her boyfriend passed away in a swimming accident. So I can't wait to read this, young adult contemporary. Now these 2 books are part of a series, and I had the first one, so I decided they were on Book Outlet, so I decided to get the other 2. They're in the Effigies series, with the first one be The Fate of Flames. So book 2 is Siege of Shadow, and book 3 is Legacy of Light. All I remember about this is that it's a young adult fantasy, I believe. And like I said, Book Outlet, super cheap, decided to get it. Now I got this one, which is, I think she's a thriller author. And I think, or maybe it's adult contemporary. But it's Diane Chamberlain, The Dream Daughter. So I decided to get it, Book Outlet, super cheap. As you can tell, most of the books I got were from Book Outlet. Then the next one is One Giant Leap. This is the conclusion to Dare Mighty Things, I'm pretty sure, by Heather Kozwinski. And this is a sci-fi. And another one that Books and Lala talked about how she loves this series. I don't think she read the second one, but the first one she loved. And the last book in this book haul is The Shadow Hour. And this is the sequel to Girl at Midnight. And I got this on Book Outlet. I want to get the whole series. It sounds like one that I would love. They had this one there, and even though it was book 2, I'll be on the lookout for book 1 and book 3. But that's it. I think it was just a little over 30 books. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.